Howdy, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath the Art Villa, found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. And that's right, today I needed to go, I did yoga and then I needed to go to the bank, which I took in, I didn't know how they were going to take this, but I never put any change in my pockets when I leave the house, which is a mistake. I said I just get tired of that. Go to the gym, you take your pants off and you don't want, oh no, change all over, you know, and all the 60 and 70-year-old men diving on the floor trying to grab the change that falls out of your pockets. So I get tons of change. So I wait a while and I put it all in these little paper sleeves and I take it to the bank. They're always like, oh, change. For some reason they wanted me to count it out. So I had to count it out myself. But fortunately, on the sleeve it's printed like what it is, like 10 bucks in quarters or something, you know. The 5 bucks in dimes and $2 in nickels and $1 a penny, or 50 cents a penny. This is an exciting story. Don't you have any other stories? Yes. So while I was there at the bank, I thought, oh, I could swing by and go through town and swing by a Goodwill and a St. Vincent de Paul and a record store that I haven't been in for maybe over a year. Okay, I stopped going to my favorite record store downtown because the place has just gotten crazy. It's just parking. It just makes you nervous to park down there. Because of now they've contracted parking out, which of course is a mistake, and the fees have gone up, and if they have like different kinds of meters and credit card, it's just, and they put in this $1 million carnival ride, which looks kind of like a trolley. Okay, so there's these trolley tracks running all over. There's no parking. There's special parking, and like once I got a $50 ticket, even though I put money in the meter. The meter didn't run out and I came out and it's 50 bucks. Like, why? Because there's a sign up there, truck parking only. There's no special lines. The meter's not any different. The sign is up there with other crap. So you go down there and it makes you nervous. You got to park far away, and it can be sometimes, probably, although if it's real, sort of a popular happening inside of town, it can be dangerous down there. So it's just too stressful to go look for records when you're dealing with all that other stuff. It's a young person side of town. If you're a young person, you're probably cool to go down there because you don't worry about things. You just go and do things, and the odds are with you that you'll survive. Okay, let's go on. So I go over to another, it's still in the city, but it's in Kentucky. And there's always a place usually out front. I stop. And I would the Goodwill, actually I had a parking lot Goodwill. That's beside the point and boring, right? Yes, stop it with the parking stories. I parallel parked today in my Jeep for the first time in a long time. The new truck, even though it's just an extended cab, and I think a little bit longer than the half-ton Dodge pickup I had, which just had was a full-size truck with a half-ton, but you know, so I could parallel park that, but this one I don't feel comfortable hardly backing in anywhere into it because it's got the camera and the mirrors, and you can't see because it's got extra little space right behind the seat. Throws me off when I don't know where the vehicle is. I don't have a sense for the exterior, the space of the vehicle. Anyway, you said you weren't going to talk about parking, and you continued to talk about it. So I go into Goodwill, and there's no record. It's not like there are records and I didn't find any records. There are no records. The bins that they used to keep records in that were there for the 10 years I've been going into the place are gone. Now, it reminded me that I went to a Goodwill I haven't been in for a year last week that I didn't mention because I didn't find any records, and there were no records, and the bin was gone. So I wonder what's up with Goodwill. You know, they're just records now. I can't imagine. Oh, and I went to another St. Vincent de Paul, and I hadn't been there in months and months and months. And the same old crap in a little milk jar holder plastic bin, like torn up stuff that was there 7 months ago, was still there. I go, of course, maybe they put some stuff in and somebody scarfed it up. So my question is, if you made it this far, to people that go to thrift shops, or is it just does it seem like, are the days of finding records in thrift shops sort of more or less over? You know, it can't possibly be. There's still got to be donations, I think, of records too. But maybe they're selling them online. I don't know. I know Goodwill. So, but then there's a record store, the Save Today, right next, and I kind of stopped going in there because the young man that runs it, he's sort of, you heard me talk about him, he's sort of a flea market guy. He's got like the NASCAR hat, and he's wearing some kind of t-shirt, like a heavy metal t-shirt, and he's heavy set. He's pleasant, but he's always playing some kind of like heavy metal stuff, like, you know, like loud. When I'm trying to, like, look at mood music, the mood music bin. Now, there's two record stores that do that sort of thing. The other one I go to, they always have some sort of, they're like 80s new wave stuff, you know, but not like Elvis Costello type, you know, television, you know, that kind of like, and it's too loud. Oh. I like to be left to my thoughts when I'm in my thoughts, when I'm looking at records, when I'm trapped in them, when I'm looking at records. I like that. Anyway, so never mind about that. That's fine. And he talks like a flea market guy. Have you ever talked to somebody that like works at a flea market? They've worked there their whole lives. They've developed their own language. And I can't even attempt to just to mimic it myself because I can't do it. All right, and his prices are always high on stuff that it shouldn't be high on. But it's been there for a long time, so there were a few things that nobody else wanted that were stuck in corners. So I picked them up and got out of there, not spending a whole bunch of money, which was nice. Okay, holding up the first record to share is a Sensational Dan and Dale album I don't have. Sensational Dan and Dale, Guitars of Dan and Dale, Moonlight Memories. All right. So every Dan and Dale guitar I've picked up, it's like it starts out and it sort of sounds like, you know, like the pop mood kind of 60s, you know, but then they can't help themselves and they do something that's quirky. Inside of every album, something is just a little bit off kilter, which makes their albums fun to collect and listen to. I don't know if this will be like that. I assume that it will be, but I don't know for sure. Why? Because I know I don't have that one. All right. And from Phil's Records, which didn't come from Phil's Record, but ended up in this record store where they didn't even pull the price tag off. They put their own on it. They left the Phil's Record price tag on it, which happened to be 99 cents, and it was in the 99-cent bin, so I got it. It's the Gospel Journeymen. I swear I've seen these suits before. I probably won't like the album, but it's on Right Records, and I have just an acquaintance who runs a Right blog, and I don't really know the person, other than just trade really brief emails. So when I find a Right record, I pass along the scans and everything, and they take them and they create the blog page for a record that they don't have, because Right pressed so many records you could spend your entire life trying to collect all of them, and you would not succeed in collecting probably half of them. I don't know. It's private. Anyway, okay. Ronnie Prophet. I think I have one or two Ronnie Prophet albums, earlier Prophet albums. Here's another Ronnie Prophet. Just a guitar guy, you know, sort of loungy. Anyway, it's signed on the back by Ronnie himself, okay? Let's see what's on here, anything worth mentioning. Something by, no, you think that's Harry songs? If, Never on a Sunday, something in the, I don't know. Go on. This is going to be horrible, but I picked it up because the cover was sort of like psychedelic, like LSD, International Pops Orchestra, 110 musicians, not strings, but musicians. There's no way there were that many. They double counted all the musicians, probably triple counted them. All right. This is going to be horrible, but I like the cover, like I said. Also probably won't care for anything on this record, but you never know. But the cover was really clean, and it is a fun photograph of just a kid. It's a kid's record, for kids anyway, I think. For kids, Nice kid cover. Hollywood. They had some really nice covers. The Hollywood label produced some nice covers. Almost put this back in, but I thought, well, if it's just $1, it could be fun. It's the basic principles of Kreshkin's. Remember him? Kreshkin? ESP used to be like do the Merv Griffin show or Johnny Carson, and we'd bend spoons or do stuff, or maybe he was the debunker. I'm not exactly sure, so I don't even remember what I'm talking about. Do you remember? Why? You can. I'm sure you can look them up. I can look them up and refresh my memory. Never mind about that. Dance and Dream featuring the Art Mooney, the one and only Art Mooney, and his orchestra. All right. I should rip the shrink off this because you know I do that. But maybe I just leave it on. This is minty fresh, nice cover. It's probably going to be really horrible. Oh no, it's full of Italian tunes. Not that I have a problem with that. Oh Solo Mio as a slow rumba. Glowworm as a cha-cha. I don't know. They'll probably find something on it. This was interesting. That even though the cover smells like it's been in a basement for a while. Something got stuck to it, like another record or something. So the cover may not be in the best shape, but it looks interesting, and it may feature something from it. Perfect percussion, Roy Hart and Milt Holland, percussion and special effects. Buddy Montgomery vibes. Monk Montgomery electric bass, Richie Crabtree piano, Benny Barth drums, and Wes Montgomery on guitar. So that could be a lot of fun. Got it for $1. That was worth it. And not in the Exotica bin. Why? Because they thought this must be a jazz album. It's another Arthur Lyman album that I don't have. The Midnight Sun, Arthur Lyman. The cover has a little bit of wear on the back. The record looks pretty darn good. It looks like late. It can't be. It has to be early '60s. Anyway, there's the dome on Hawaii. The aluminum dome on the grounds of Hilton Hawaii Village Hotel, which was used by Lyman and Denny to record many of their albums. And last but not least, put to the bottom of the stack to hold up, not because I'm going to play anything, a sample from this album, but you will see why I bought the damn thing, because of the cover. It's Jack Zimmerman's The Whistler and His Dog. The Whistler and His Dog. There's an organ on it. He plays the organ, whistling. He uses whistling as the voice of music. Multiple tracks. Delightful harmonies. What the hell is the deal with his dog? You want to know that before I turn off the damn camera. Whistler and His Dog album. What the fuck? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I forget that I'm not down here by myself. And I'm just sitting here wasting time trying to figure out what the hell. What else is on here? No, that's not what he's doing. He's just with Art Mooney. He played with Art Mooney. This guy played with Art Mooney. Speaking of Art Mooney, Buddy Rogers, Charlie Spivak, and Enric Madrigal, something or other. He whistled on the George Skinner show on CBS. But what about a dog? It doesn't say anything about the damn dog. I hate you, Jack Zimmerman's. I don't hate Jack Zimmerman. I hate the producer of the album on Goldcrest for not taking the time to explain on the back cover why the hell his dog is on the cover. That went on too long. Is there anything else? Is there anything else I have left? Left to go over here. Oh, so I had to tell this story. So I put a chop in it because I was just like... So there's this guy that I'm going to the gym now for almost a year. It'll be a year in November, and I've been doing yoga now for all that time, and I can finally, not cross my legs like this at the end when you do the thing with the thing like this, all right, and you release all that, whatever tension you got left. I can actually put my legs on top of one another now, okay, and not look incredibly awkward, and be somewhat comfortable in the pose. So That's how much flexibility. It's taken me almost a year, at least 2 classes a week, 3, sometimes 4, and the rare occasions 5 classes a week of yoga at my age. It's taken that long, and losing weight, going down from a 38 to a loose 36 now, and hopefully going to go down really to a 34. That would be great, but it's going to take a lot more effort. In strength, still my side planks are, I'm shaky on that, and some of the ab things, even though well, what were you talking about? I was talking about this guy that I usually used to run into once a week, and it's like he's from Ukraine or Romania, or he's Russian or something. He's got that kind of accent. He's very pleasant, and he talked about wanting to do at his age, which is in his 40s maybe, competitive swimming in his age group. He was really in good shape, driven. And I hadn't seen him in a while, and I actually thought about him. And here he comes into the place with a little scooter with his leg in a cast up on the scooter, so he's pushing himself around. I'm like, Jesus. He goes, how are you? I look at him, I don't know what to say, and he says, well, how you doing? I'm like, what about you? Look at you. What happened to you? And he said, I fell off a roof. And I said, you fell off a roof? I thought, roof? Did I just say roof? But I didn't want to repeat myself, because that would be weird. Anyway, so I just said, oh my God. And you broke your leg. I mean, it was bad if you're scooting yourself around. He looks at me and goes, the leg was not the worst of it. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So this guy, he's I built my deck. I did everything. I'm up on the roof working on some siding. And he's like, he stepped back to look at his work right off the edge of the roof, 26 feet down, onto a cement concrete patio. Internal bleeding. He was in ICU for a week. I guess he could have died. Broke other shit too. Jesus Christ. But I mean, that was like, oh my God. So I try to say sensitive things like, well, are you going to be afraid to get back on the ladder? That's a reasonable question, I think, And he goes, tell you I'm getting back up there. I'm not paying somebody $1,100 to work on my siding. That was a great answer, great response, spoken like a real kind of do-it-yourself homeowner type guy like me, I'd be like, I've ridden ladders down a couple of times, okay? One from about 20 feet up, and it came straight down the wall because I had it out weird to try to keep from messing up some plantings my wife put in, and I landed right on my feet. I just stepped off the ladder as it reached the ground, and it was fine. The other time was my fault. It's a great story. I've told it a million times, but never here on YouTube. Was when I first moved into the house, I'm tuck pointing the chimney, the rockwork on the chimney, and at that point, I didn't have a ladder that was tall enough to reach the top of the chimney. So what do? Something really stupid, which is to put a step ladder up and put a board from the step ladder to steps coming down, okay, and then put the ladder on top of that to make it another 3 or 4 feet taller, so I'm up in the air like 30 feet. I can't believe it now. Now I have all this experience being on ladders for years, that I would do something like this. So the bottom of the ladder, of course, kicks out. It was ridiculous that I was doing that. It kicks out. Now, I'm in midair, and I have enough time to turn around as I fall and look down and decide what I want to hit when I reach the bottom. That's how high I was in slow motion, turning around. I had enough time to decide whether to hit this wall that the rock steps kind of go into. That didn't look too appealing, so my other option was to fall on my air compressor, 3.5 horsepower air compressor. So I thought the air compressor looked like a softer target. So to hit that, I had to land on my leg, which happened to be fully extended, and then fall into the air compressor. and I knocked the air compressor over. Well, in that instant that I knocked the air compressor over, the only thing in my mind is, one, did anybody see me driving by on the street? I hope nobody saw me do this stupid thing. And then two, my air compressor is turned over. It can't be like that running turned over because the oil, you know, in the engine needs to be a certain. So I jump up and I lift the air compressor up. Then my brain accepts the pain as a pain, the shot of pain from my knee, which was a horrible pain. So I'm supposed to go out to dinner that night with a friend and somebody, I don't know who he's with, somebody's. And so now I would not, if I hurt myself, I'm just like, forget it, I'm staying home. But no, I go, and I can barely walk on my knee. It just hurts so bad, just so bad. I come home and I finally get myself into bed. And I just know I've ripped something, or I'm going to have to go to the emergency room or something, you know, in the morning. So, I don't know, at about 3 o'clock in the morning, I have to get up to go to the little boy's room, and I just jump up like nothing's wrong, and I'm like, and my knee didn't hurt anymore at all. I didn't take any drugs, I didn't do aspirin, or didn't drink, or didn't do anything. I just got up and it was fine. It was a miracle. All right. Somebody up there is watching out for me to give me another chance to do something stupid where I could really hurt myself bad. Still waiting for that to happen. Oh boy, there you go. Now on to the musical sample. That was a great ending.